Do you hear me? Do you see me? I see you, even you are behind that screen. Even I don't see your face, which I would love to see your face. Let me go back to the Facebook and I see the live stream, live stream. So here we are. While you are jumping in, whether you're watching this from this live with me, which is amazing, thank you for your presence, because day 3, anyway, we've been here already 3 days. It's good to, or it's easy to say like, okay, I will join one live, but to have joined 3 lives in a row, that's amazing. And if you are one of those superstars, I want you to congratulate yourself and really celebrate yourself, because that is something not everyone are doing. And that speaks about your commitment to yourself and commitment to learn if this, what I'm teaching here, is resonating with you. And I'm trusting it does. Today we're gonna talk about transforming your reality, how to put it into the integration, how to have that great ideology in your mind, and then put it into your life, like to live and embody. I feel that this journey is really about embodiment, and trust me when I say that when we were deciding how to call, for example, our yoga collective, International Yoga Collective, after It's Yoga, which was so solid name, It Is Yoga. We came into embody because embody represents that embodiment of the journey, of the practice, of the love of the practice, and embodiment of that alchemy that happens with the practice. So like the commitment to the practice is what transforms our lives. Not that one practice that was amazing, not that one study, book, lesson, teacher that was amazing. It's the long journey, the lifelong journey that transforms our day-to-day life, and kind of the subtle shifts that happens when we start to realign ourselves with our true self, with that yoga union self. And that's why I'm so also excited to be here. I have my dogs like doing this behind me. Let me show them. So probably you don't hear them, but I hear them because they were like, there she goes again. But here I go, because this is my mission. I'm here to build a community around this practice. I'm here to share the love of the yoga off the mat, share the love of the inner alchemy, share the love of the transformation, manifestations, change, because that really excites me. And that puts the life forward. And I believe in growth. I believe in connection. I believe in direction and clarity. And I want to share this. I really feel that this is the intuitive thing to do. So if you're here, if you're watching replay, if you're just stepping into the live, please comment something. We have a little reminder. The encouragement steps are to like or love each live that I come here. Thank you for doing that. It's also for you and for others, as we know the impact is amazing, that when we are sharing our inspiration, the others get inspired, and it's like a snowball effect. Comment each video. Hi, I'm here, I'm replaying, I'm listening, I'm present. This is interesting, this is not interesting, whatever it is. Being raw and real in that. I'm okay. And do the daily tasks. So for Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, we have daily tasks. And I have invited you to share. I loved it that Kim is sharing. She's one of our graduates since years ago. and she's really stepping into that new level of accountability for yourself. Like, okay, I am sharing something very, very big personal to the others, to the big group of people. Everybody can read them. And that's something that I really want to celebrate in each and every one of you who are hearing the calling to step in that sense into that kind of commitment to yourself. And you will have time to do those daily tasks until, until next week, Tuesday. So next Tuesday, I will do a little competition review, or what's the word, like to win the prizes that are up. So the prizes are one-to-one coaching session with me, and then I was thinking I will give 1 or 2 accesses to the motivation vault. So the vault that I have ready, there is practices on the mat, off the mat, and EFT practices, emotional freedom technique practices. So you will have 1 month free access to that motivation vault. Go and do the task until Tuesday. Until Tuesday, you have time to click that like, love, and comment also. All right. That will be last day of October. So when we come into the 1st of November, the competition is over. I had something else to say. Yeah, for the one-to-one, just for your info, I'm not offering one-to-ones at the moment. So to have one-to-one with me is a bit unique situation. And it is valued beyond, because then we will sit down and I will give my fullest attention, my presence, to help you move forward with whatever you are moving forward with. And if there's any struggle, we can resolve it together. So I have experienced myself that one-to-one coaching is life-changing, because then, and also group coaching, but coaching itself is life-changing, because then we cannot really hide behind the group, we cannot really hide behind among the others. You are on stage in the arena, and I am there too, and we will support. I will support you, you will support me to make that moment amazing and life-changing. One thing that I also wanted to remind you, I'm reading it from here, so I don't forget to say it. The Friday masterclass, go and link yourself in. It's a registered, it's required to join that masterclass. If you cannot join me live on Friday at 11 in a Zoom, it will be recorded, so all of you who are doing the registration will also get the replay, and you can watch the replay for a good amount of time. So if you are not available on Friday at 11, go and link yourself into the class anyway, so you will receive it. And that was it. That was our housekeeping. Now we dive into the integration. I cannot see the comments as always, as at the same time when I'm live, but I will always come a little bit to peek from Zoom to the Facebook. But maybe it's also great for my concentration. I want to stay concentrated for you. We have been talking about in this experience about awakening that inner magic, awakening that inner creativity and connection, and really returning to yourself to maneuver, for example, manifestations, how to clarify what you want rather than not having clear on that, how to trust the journey, the process that gets you there, how to trust the divine plan that will get you there, and how to surrender. And maybe today more the focus is in the surrendering part, like how we can really let go of that neediness, like, yeah, I need, and kind of our energy shifts from I trust into I need to have it, and the universe is kind of confused, like what's that? And how I said that the universe is, when it's not clear, the universe is pausing, and it just gives us time to get clear, to get back into the connection, into the direction. And it's not that it's not working, it just gives us time to maybe alchemize something, or to resolve the thing, to meditate something. And sometimes in life we do tend to then think that, okay, it's not working, so I just give up. For example, pursuing my dreams. And this I want to today talk about, the how to surrender with time when things take sometimes time, when the alchemization process takes time, when the manifestation takes time to step into the reality, and how to let go of that kind of scarcity mindset around that I need something to happen in order, for example, to feel complete, and instead to be complete and in calmness, for example, through the breath, and through the meditation, through the mindset work, already in this moment, and knowing that when that what you are manifesting is actually turning towards you, it's just a matter of time when it walks to you. And on the first day I was sharing one of my own biggest manifestation stories, and I do invite you to also find the resources from your own life, that what has already happened, in what you were patient, in what you were willing to trust the universal guidance already in your life, and kind of get in those stories into your power pack, so that you have that kind of feeling like, yeah, I have been patient before, I have gone through fire before, I have alchemized something before, so I can do this too, if it's really valuable and meaningful what you are calling into your life through the manifestation work. And really visualizing, like, what you are, the more clarified you get, visualizing that what you are calling in is actually turning towards you. And that what happened to me when I shared in the first day, like with this big manifestation of a dream man that I wanted to have, or maybe it was a family, maybe it was just feeling of belonging to something, because I was feeling lonely in life, and I was kind of like a lonely rider, vagabond, always traveling, kind of living the life, but I was doing everything alone, and it made me really sad, and it made me feel like I don't have place to belong, I don't have place to share with others. And this is 10 years ago, and I kept on traveling, kind of I went to one place, and then I was like, but there must be somewhere more beautiful place, or more amazing place. So I just kept on wandering from one place to another, until I came to a realization, but actually what I'm looking from outside is something that needs to be inside, connected inside, and turning the attention from outside world to look for the meaning from outside, to look for the meaning inside, and really started to get clear on what I want from life, and what I want to manifest in life. And when the realization came, like, okay, I want to have a family. I knew I will be mom one day, but it just didn't happen. The right guy didn't show up. And I had started to have this fear around, like, maybe this is not going to happen. Maybe I will end up to be lonely cats lady for the rest of my life. Like, and then the alchemy happened, when actually what happened was surrendering. It's like, okay, I just surrender. It's like, creator, whatever that is, I don't believe in religious God, but God, you show me the way. Yoga was my God. You show me the way. I will step on my feet on a mat. I will do the samasthiti. I will rest in a savasana. I will breathe. I will go through those emotions that are there. I will cry. I will write. I will journal. I will process. And the alchemy happened. And what I felt just before we met with my husband-to-be, that he actually turned towards me. And I knew that he will come. So this is the feeling that we get, for example, with manifestation, and what I'm teaching you, the alchemy, for example, in these 3 days. Like, this is so short time to kind of squeeze the lifelong lessons in, but the surrendering happen, and that happens through the relaxations. Like, yeah, what's meant to me will not miss me. And that's what I want to share with you too. I'm trusting you always here when I say I, that I also mean you. I'm not here to just talk about me. It's just, I took 10 years yoga training to share my own experience, to feel empowered about my own story. And it's so implugged in me that it's, all the marketing people are saying, like, you start to talk about you. When you know that what's meant for you will not miss you, it will come, whatever it is. If you feel it in your heart, if you feel it in your soul, deep in your soul, spirit, it's just a matter of time when it's gonna come. And that's what I want to give you reassurance. Like, whatever you are calling into your life, keep walking the walk, keep talking the walk, keep going with that flow, and surrender as much as you can. I think it took me 10 years to understand what Larry Schultz, one of our yoga mentors in the community and teachers, said, that relax, breathe, and go with the flow. It's like, just relax, breathe, and go with the flow, go with what feels natural. And I was like, yeah, okay, I will relax and breathe, but still I wasn't, because there was so much going on. There was so much to hold, and there was an alchemy process going on. So I'm not saying that I'm there yet. I'm relaxing and breathing, reminding every day again and again. But today I want to talk about those integration elements, how to integrate the practice into the life, and to transform your reality, like start to see the results, the feeling of trust, the feeling of comfort, the feeling of like, yeah, I am connected. And it can happen in a heartbeat. These are instant choices. Like, we choose, for example, to be connected to our breath. You can do it right here, right now with me. Like, you just choose, like, okay, I will connect through the breath. You change your nervous system, you change your body chemistry, you change your reality, you change your mind. And that's the practice. This is not one, pill, everything is cured. This is a practice learning. So let's go. I have 13 things that I want to say to you today about transforming your reality. We start from self-reflection. Are you ready? Let me see the Facebook. Somebody's here with me. Who is here with me? Where are we? Let me go to the Facebook. Are you in a replay with me? Every time I go here, I try to find this live. I can't find it. Okay. I'm here. You're here. That's great. That's all we need. That's all we need. This is the moment. All right. Number 1, self-reflection. Self-reflection. We gotta start to reflect our be, do, have, our thoughts, beliefs, actions, doings, behavior, and reflect from the place of self-compassion. Like, how much time do we spend in a day worrying, doubting, hesitating, criticizing, being our, worst enemies from inside? Like, how many times would you say to the things that you say to yourself to somebody else? We are, and I believe this is kind of generational thing, but we went through, I'm an 80s baby in 1980. I was born in 80. When I was a teenager, there was a really big, what this kind of like a evolution of work and money energy. So growing up in that, it's called lama now. I don't know what's that in English actually, but like going through that kind of scarcity and growing up in that kind of environment left thinking that it's scary to move towards your dreams and scary to go after what you really desire, because there was so much like that was not abundant in that time, and not just in one family but every family, like generations. And before that there was all these kind of other stuff that were happening in the history. So like looking a little bit how you grew up, for example, today, reflecting how you took your stories into today's life and how they are still affecting there, and seeing those stories with the eyes of understanding. Another way to say light, like namaste, the light within me, is to say, I understand you because I understand me. That's namaste mindedness. And that lightness mindedness. So self-reflection through journaling, meditation, through pausing, walking, through any kind of reflective practices that you might have. Running. Yeah, I think that's what we need to transform our reality. We need clarity on a direction. We need clear goals and a kind of like clarity on our manifestations. We need that. We need to open that windows, like, okay, what is there? Because sometimes in this kind of house that I have, like a life is like a house. And some of the windows are closed. It's like there is a window, but there's curtains on the way. And those windows are opening towards, for example, dreams, towards new perspectives, new views, new light. You know how when you open a window, the light comes in to each corner of the room. We got to open those windows and kind of seeing with the eyes of clarity, like, okay, this is what I want to manifest. This is important to me. This is exciting me. This is what beats with my heart. Like to be heart-led in that sense, leading life with that intuitive connections. Like I'm coming over and over again to the name of this group in that sense. We gotta trust the balance of our plan. This is number 3, our plan and a divine plan. And we talked about how our plan is not the best always. The divine has a plan for us. And how many times you have, for example, already in your life, if you're in the 40s, you have experienced periods of times that were tough, or periods of events that were not great, but there was a learning behind. And maybe that learning you already know, like, okay, that taught me to be strong, or that taught me to put boundaries, that taught me to be clear and communicate my feelings, that taught me to be patient, you know, these kind of divine plans that in our plans, it's not always seen like, okay, it's great to go through, but divine has a deeper plan for us, and to go through, for example, those kind of self journeys, like life lessons. We are experiencing different stuff, and how we observe, how we perceive the experiences is what makes the difference, not actually what we experience. Also, if it's in the past, it's how we perceive, how we watch, how we see, hear, and feel it in this moment. And what do we see from there? So the balance between the your plan and divine plan, it's also the opportunity to let go of the control, let go of the tension around, for example, planning ahead something, and then if it doesn't come, like, no, it's not working. Control. Yeah. All right. Number 4, inspired action. And I am a big believer of being first before taking an action. But I do believe that without action, we can't really go forward. Like, sometimes the action is also to stay still and to stay in a stillness. Like yesterday in a yin class, that was our action. And how hard that can be sometimes, like, in a way, okay, the way is not difficult, it is different. How different it is to come to the yoga class and to stay in stillness until your mind is like racing, because the stillness might not be familiar for us in our day-to-day life. We go from 7 until 10 full on. I don't know about you, if you go, but I do that sometimes. And then the life happens. It's like the inner guru steps in. Hey, Salla, it's time to slow down. Take time, take a slot for nothing in your calendar. So because we can do so much during the day, but if we don't put those moments of, connection and breath, we start to rush. And when we rush our breath. And when we rush our breath, our nervous system blocks into the fight or flight mode. And there are no tigers anymore in nowadays life. It's an ancient survival system that we wouldn't necessarily need in normal life anymore. We need it when we need to run, when we need to fight, when we need to, freeze. But in normal life, the worrisome thinking and all that, we don't need that nervous system. We can step out from it and nurture that connectedness within, from that calmer nervous system, that one that pauses. All right. So investing, for example, time, energy, patience, effort into self-care, into self-development. And this is the what I want to say, the number 5, like learning new skills, learning to be approaching problems through solution, learning to be patient in stressful situations, learning to be connected when you're triggered, learning to be active when you feel like you are getting into numbness, for example, or into some kind of disconnection. So this all is a skill learning, and we can put effort on those kind of skills. We can learn them and kind of stepping into that constant self-knowledge, the journey to you. Like, that's what yoga is, like through you, to you, with you. Some might say that yoga is that amazing feeling after the class, that little moment of like, yeah, now I'm in peace with myself. But I strongly believe that yoga is in each and every moment of the day, when we are feeling disconnected, when we are feeling triggered, when we are feeling emotional, out of over control, when we are overreacting, when we are doing all those stuff that are human, yoga is there. It's in a good and bad, if you want to put it in there too. I think it's not that black and white. Everything is for alchemy. I love the alchemy word nowadays. You know that? Yeah. Number 6, growth mindset. Like, we gotta train our minds, because otherwise it will default into the familiar. And maybe the familiar is to worry and doubt and create hesitation and kind of create scenarios and also all that. I love when people are like this kind of people that are and people, you know, when you're having a conversation and there's like somebody saying, oh, that's a great idea, and you could do this and this and this and this, like that kind of evolution, like, yeah, great. Because it might be that inside our heads it's like, yeah, that's a great idea, but I don't have time. Oh, that's a great idea, but I don't have money. Oh, it's a great idea, but I don't have time. Oh, I would love to come to yoga, but I don't have time to do it. I'm too busy. I'm mom. I have 4-year-old. I've been there. That's why I can say it. Like, you know, we can step into that solution-based thinking, like, okay, that's a great idea, and I'm open for it. Oh, that's a great idea. That sounds amazing. And I'm willing to see this. This excites me. So that kind of growth mindset, it's so essential. And it's a practice. It doesn't happen 24/7 all the time, because I don't believe, also, we are human. Things happen. Things pile up sometimes and escalates. And from those moments too, we can step into the kindness, like, okay, that didn't go so great. How could I now choose differently? How could I see this differently? Like that's what I believe. 7, we can see obstacles like opportunities. That's a huge one, like seeing things differently. And I believe we have 3 choices in every situation. We can choose to change if we are not aligned with something, or we can choose to see it differently. We can choose to change our perspective, like, oh, okay, well, maybe I can see it from this triangle. Or we can leave. We can say that, okay, that's not for us. Yeah. But in every situation in life, we have 3 choices. That's one of the coaching tools, 3 choices. Yoga Aftermath tools. 8, we can create support net around us. We can create a community, people that are doing the same thing that we are doing. I think it's so important, because sometimes when you are going through a self-growth, self-development, manifestation journeys, you think that nobody else is doing this, just you, and it feels a bit lonely, and there is not like support from right and left. It feels like, oh, it's not working and I'm alone. So creating this kind of support nets. And I just heard a little while ago that we are, or how we feel during the days, we are average of 5 people that we most spend our time with. So thinking about 5 people in your life that you most spend your time with and how their energy is, you are average of those 5. Like really good to look, like if you want to, for example, add something in your life, like you want to be more creative, or you want to maneuver something, to add those people who are doing the same thing into your life. So you start to, we have these mirror cells within us, we start to draw the energies. And I always believe the inspiration is the key, like we change the energies, and it's not like you take it from somewhere and then they are lacking. It's no, when we give, we receive. When we receive, we give. And it's always like 2 ways. And that's why like having a like support net that is there, seeing the light in you when you are not maybe seeing it, and supporting you through transformation, supporting you through growth, it's essential. And so many times I was trying to do it on my own, or I was relying on one person. And then there is a story about what happened with that, and I felt alone, like we disconnected. And then I was like, oh my God, who do I look up to now? Like, where's my mentor? And then I started to look for, and I found so many mentors and so many teachers and so many good support groups. So I really trust that we can call into those people into our lives too, that are gonna be there for you and are gonna stand there for you and really support you through whatever you're going through, whether it's a professional growth or personal growth. Yes. We need, number 9, self-care for real. Self-care for real. And I'm not saying that this is just to eat good or sleep good or exercise or have downtime. This is like for real check-in inventory to yourself daily, that what do I need in this moment? Do I need to go somewhere? Do I need to do something? Do I need to say something to somebody? And really taking in from your inner guidance, where do you want me to go? What do you want me to say? What do you want me to say, and to whom? Like, how we can care from ourselves so much that we check in daily, in the morning, noon, afternoon, evening, like throughout the day. Where do I need to be now? What do I need to be doing now? And that kind of self-care, like really tapping into yourself with that kind of connection, and taking your values, like clarifying your values. What is important to you in life? What is really important to you? Because sometimes when we are like misaligned in life, something is not working in life, maybe it is just that there is something really important, like a value, and our actions are not supporting that. So for me, for example, just to give an example, for me it was, for a long time, for example, self-care was important. That was my value. But then I was staying up all night, or I was I'm still eating quite a lot of sugar. It's in my diary. I wrote down less sugar, more broccoli. But like taking honest inventory also, what we are, for example, eating, what we are digesting, whether it's food or whether it's our thoughts, whether it's different beliefs, what is driving us, and that kind of self-care for real, like checking in. I think it's important. And that when we do that, we check our values, we start to slowly turn, the value is like a compass. It will give you direction, but you move towards that direction. There is no like end of the values, like, okay, now you are in health, or now you are in growth, or now you are in connection, in freedom. It's always a directions. Like you can always move a little bit towards north. Can always move a little bit more towards north direction if is in your compass. If your compass is showing that that's your path, choose freedom to go. And how to know the values is just checking in, like asking yourself, what is important to me in life? What is my main mover? Motivation. And allowing as much as possible the spirit to lead the way. So number 10, checking the clock, is like 40 minutes already. Oh my gosh. I'm trusting this is interesting. Modify, be flexible. I know yogis are flexible, but being flexible in mind, like modifying, adjusting. The Stephen Hawkins is saying that the intelligence is the ability to adapt to a change, like to adapt, like, oh, wow, that wasn't working. Whoa. How to maneuver now, and kind of seeing how the change is constant. The change is always happening, and that's why, for example, my main mover is growth, because for me, growth is always happening. Also, when we step back, and also when we detour, it's always there. And it's very much connected to that connectedness, like inner connectedness. But the change is constant. It's in constant in life. Everything is changing all the time. Not one cell is the same in our skin in 2 weeks. That's amazing. Like, we are constantly changing, evolving, and also giving ourselves permission to change who we are. If something is not resonating anymore, maybe it is time to move on from that, or maybe it is time to change, maybe it is time to close some doors to open a new ones, you know. Yeah, this is good. Number 11, learning to celebrate success, learning to celebrate when you are doing great, and knowing that you're doing great. That's what we say in a yoga class a lot of time as a yoga facilitators, like, you're doing great. Because we then encourage the inner teacher, the inner guru, the inner leader within us to step in, like the kind and loving, encouraging voice within us that we all have. It's just sometimes under that critical mind, the critical voice, which is more louder, more pushy, more demanding. And that's why we hear it sometimes more, because it's just loud. But when we turn in and we turn the eyes in and we ask our inner leaders to step in, we can move through and we can celebrate little steps on the way, the big steps on the way. It doesn't matter, is it big or small. When you learn to celebrate yourself through any process, you are also boosting your chemical responses, like giving those good dopamine hormones and responses for you to, like, yeah, I'm doing great, and just keep on saying that to yourself in a way that, like, wholeheartedly, because even when you think you're not doing great, you are actually doing great. If you are, for example, sitting with the hard feelings, or shifting some really sticky beliefs, or changing your mindset about something, that is great. That is great. Showing up is great. Showing up. Not everybody shows up, for example, this kind of training. If you are here watching this, way to go, girl. Way to go. You are doing it. And I'm so glad that you're here, because you remind me of you. We are the same, you know? Namaste. So when there's a big changes, we break it down to the small victories. We break it down to the, what would be the smallest possible action that I could do towards today, to my big manifestation. There, it seems to be far away. What could I do today to take a step towards that? Rome was not built in a day, they say. Today I'm all about affirmations. You know, they come from my head and I need to speak them out. All right. Number 12, self-commitment. Self-commitment. Big time. Standing on your own 2 feet, believing you have it all already in this moment, and rock solid self-support, like starting to really taking those steps towards yourself in that sense, and whatever turn the life change or transformation takes, you have yourself always. And if you are doubting, that's okay, because from doubt, you can choose to reconnect to yourself. It's like when people are saying in a yoga class that, oh, I forget to breathe. I didn't think about the breathing at all, because there were so many hands and feet and, you know, all the asanas. And then we say, well, you were breathing all the time because you're a human being. We are changing all the time because we are in that process of life. It's just that we were not conscious because we were maybe thinking another thing. So great. Take a next inhale. And there you are again. It's like, it's so close, the connection, it's so close. Sometimes we think that the change is so far away, or the connection is so hard, like hard to connect to yourself. I say it's in your next inhale. It's so easy. It's so easy to connect to yourself. I really want you to believe in that. Rewire yourself into that. This is actually easy. The inner connection is easy. You're always one breath away from yourself. The last part is to transform your reality, is to be open-minded, willing, like how much we can resist stuff. And then we choose to be willing to the process, to the journey, to the hard stuff, you know, and kind of have that kind of flexibility within us that whatever it is, if it's a physical resistance, emotional, mental, intellectual, energetic, spiritual resistance, if we are open for it, if we open that window, it will step in. In that moment, we say, okay, yeah. Okay, yes. So learning to love the journey, learning to love, really love the process, like learning to love the process, even it's sometimes whatever it is. It might be tricky. All right. So why to become an alchemist? And because I'm talking about alchemy, that's what I want to also say. Why to become an alchemist is that we are feeling the heaviness of the world in our shoulders. You just need to open the TV and see the news. It's there. So we want light. I know that's what I want, and I'm trusting you are feeling the same. And we feel the heaviness of our own critical mind. And we want peace, right? It's time. They say in the first Yoga Sutra, it's time for yoga. It's time to be connected. It's time to study, for example. It's time now, the study of yoga begins. That's the first sutra. That's how they open up the big book of yoga philosophy. Now it's time. And that now is always now. So it wasn't now 10 years ago when there was something going on in your life, or in future somewhere when you have that or something what you need to do. It's now. It is now, in this moment, in this day, when you're watching, for example, this, and you get this info. I believe strongly we don't need to be fixed. There's nothing broken within us. There's nothing, there's nothing to fix. And that's not what healing is about, like to heal something that is broken. It's not broken. We are not broken. You are not broken. It is more about that we might believe that we are something that we are not. And that's one of the main teachings in the spiritual books, that the only problem that we have is that we think that we are separated from ourselves or from our creator, which is the same. So separated from our true self, from that one who is always on your side, that alchemist who says like, okay, it's let's see, what is this? Let's learn. Let's be open. Let's be willing. And that separation within us creates all the suffering and struggle in life. That separation encourages ego to step in. That separation encourages scarcity to step in. And if we want to live in an abundance and in connected life and within ourselves, all we need to do is to, identify with that self who is already there waiting for our attention, and heal that relationship within ourselves. Because when we heal our relationship with ourselves, we turn the attention in and we create intention. We heal all the relationships in our lives. Everything is like filtered through the inner connection. And healing, or this kind of alchemy, happens when we step into the spirit, when we step into the abundance. I love the saying that there's only stream of abundance, and that's the only stream there is, the only universal stream of abundance. And it's up to us, do we step in or not? Sometimes we resist it, and that's human. That's when we struggle. But there's only resistance. No, there's only abundance. So when we stop resisting, we start surrendering. That makes sense. We can create practice around that turning towards yourself, because I know from myself, and I know after training 300 yoga teachers out in the world during these 8 years, that one of the biggest struggle for what yoga teachers have is that during the yoga training, they have connection to their own practice. When they go home, that commitment kind of start to stretch out, they slip from it. So we can create a practice around that U-turning back, U-turn back to yourself, back to the consistency. And that's, I think, it's a yoga off the mat practice. That's why yoga off the mat takes us on the mat again, because it's kind of gives us reason to step into the breath, asana, pranayama, and also to modify it, to be flexible with that, and to step into that union to oneself, to that yoga. That's basically yoga, a journey within yourself. And one of the greatest line that I wanted to share today here is from the yoga teacher, mentor, Larry Schultz, who created the Rocket practice, the practice that I share and love and practice. When people were asking, when he was getting older, people were asking, like, do you do yoga anymore? Like, do you practice on the mat? And he said to them that, how do you know that I'm not practicing right now? Everything is a practice of yoga, of alchemy, and we can fall. We can really fall back to the hurry, stress, to the worry, to the struggle, tension, all this kind of stuff, stiffness, because that's what humans easily can do. We can fall back to those. It's maybe more familiar nowadays to be stressed than to be connected and peaceful. And definitely I see that in my own self, like the practice is on, and resolving any resistance around that we step back to the peace and connection. That's the alchemy work that we kind of need to see. And that's what I'm calling in, that we do say yes to the practice. We do say yes to ourselves, because we have this one life. This one life. And I'm already 43. The time is going every day. So, like, reaching out to your dreams. I'm going to go overtime today. I just want to say everything that I have. Bear with me, it's 1 hour already. I'm asking, how much more do you need time to take that action? Like how much more we need to meditate. I think this kind of decision sometimes comes really easily when we just let it go. Like, okay. And I've noticed myself, I'm pretty intuitive decision maker. Like when I hear like, okay, it's time, it's like, okay, I will do that. When in some other cases I might balance for a while, for a longer time, but if I really know that this is what I want and need, and where there is a struggle, where there is some fear around, it's time for the intuitive decision. And alchemy itself, the practice is not about erasing or denying that there is no problem and there is no struggle. It is really about alchemizing that struggle to be the source of connection. Like how much we can alchemize, we can turn it into something that it wasn't first, into, for example, this connection to connection, the misalignment to alignment, the resistance to freedom. Yeah. All right. This is the invitation. Invitation to a journey. Maybe some of this I will leave to the Friday's class, because I still have like 3 papers written that I want to share. But do come with me to the Friday class. To come with me to a Friday class. I would love to be there with you. What I want to say now, that we are, yesterday I was talking about the ocean and the ocean, the breath, the waves. We are the ocean. We are the ocean. We are in the ocean. The waves that we wish to serve, you know, the manifestation that we wish to have in our lives, to serve and really get into that flow, they are already in our existence. Just like the wave is not part of the ocean, the wave is the ocean. The manifestation is not part of your life, the manifestation is your life. So it's coming, it's just there. It is, the alchemy is essential step on a way, and kind of getting into that easy access to the practice. And that's why I want to come into this, that I will open the doors to my membership. So if you have been walking with me now Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and some of these that I'm talking here makes sense and it resonates, I invite you to journey with me. And I want to say that the membership is called Alchemist, and the doors are open, and it is for you who is ready to reach for the dreams and to manifest your wildest dreams, whether it's a professional or personal dreams, and to take that inspired action. You are so ready for that, and to get into that alignment work, and to get into that well-being and happiness that you know you are, but just somehow you can't get it into your hands in this moment, and to resolve whatever there is weighting you down from being the fullest expression of yourself, and to move forward in your life. So this work that we do in the Alchemist membership, it is the surrendering work, it is the awareness work, it is the shifting work, and kind of leaning into the self-commitment through the practice, leaning into the consistency with the practice. And I believe that when one individual starts to feel connected and kind of feels that the alchemy takes itself in life, it ripples. The effects will ripple to the people around this person, and they will ripple it again like a snowball effect to around themselves. And therefore we ripple from one individual can move like a snowball effect to the bigger quantity of impact in a world. And I strongly believe this is the way to create peace in a world. This is actually the only way to create peace in the world, and how much we do need that. Through our own inner connection, through our own worthiness, through the work that we do. So the doors are open, and they are open about now 10 days. I will take new members now in. There are a group of beautiful alchemists already inside, and I will bring them to, I will interview them in this group later in this week, but the doors are open now. If you feel the calling, I invite you to join me, because the membership is for 1 year. It's beautiful. It is life-changing. It works when you work it, when you tap into it. There is a community meetings. You will have monthly meeting with me, you will have yoga classes with me, and you will have access to the meditation, motivation, and journaling vault. And I will link the info in this group after this live, so you can see everything that is there. And if you want to ask more guidance, if you want to ask more questions, I'm open to do like a 15 minutes calls if you want to have one-to-one call, or to message you. So just reach me out, and we can talk about it. There is a payment plan, and then there is a full 1 year investment. And I understand it is an investment in time. It is an investment in energy. It is investment in money, although I do believe it's pretty good price in that sense. It is 1 year investment for me to be also there, and for you to be inside the group. So it is a beautiful thing. I really, really love it. We started in July, and now it's been changing. There are some changes happening, and now it's growing, and I'm really looking forward to welcome new alchemists into our group. But for today's closer, I want to read you a letter, and this is a letter that I wrote to you, who is there and feels connected to my message, feels connected to this work that we do, for example, the alchemy work. And I invite you to close your eyes for this one and take a moment to really turn inwards, allowing everything that I have kind of said during today or yesterday or Monday to sink in from your head to your heart, and then from your heart to your spine, so that you can feel peace and spaciousness in your heart, in your mind. And I invite you to take a deep breath. Hey, you. Yes, you. You can keep your eyes closed. I see you. I recognize something familiar in you and in who I was not so long ago. You are growth enthusiastic too, right? You've been studying, reading all the self-help books. You have done practices. You have invested in yourself. And I see what you are looking for is somehow missing. Or maybe just under everything, kind of hiding or covered. It's time, isn't it? You are ready. I see that. You are willing to go for it. You are willing to be vulnerable, to step on a journey called life with arms and heart open. I know you want to make all your dreams come true. I want that for you too. When you have decided something, you won't give up. Not because you want to push it through, in fact, quite the opposite. But because it's too valuable, too meaningful for you. And the option to not to go all in or to not to follow your heart in this life is actually not an option. They say go and get it. So you got it. I also know it has not been easy. You've been challenged. You have gone through the fire, and this is not your first rodeo. It takes courage to step in an arena and say yes. Yes for transformation, and yes to trusting the process, to trust the inner guidance again and again. The critic within has been the pain in the ass, hasn't it? Just know this. The part of you who doubts and resists to believe in you, that part of who you will turn the rocks. Because the alchemy of change happens when things are not, when things are reconnecting after disconnection, when things are realigning after misalignment, when things are recommitting after inconsistency. You deserve it all what you have ever think for yourself. You can have it all, like Oprah says, not necessarily at the same time or your time, but you can have it all. I believe in you. And I know it's your turn to start to believe in yourself too, to step up the connection within, because it's you. It's the way to step up the connection with everything and with everyone as well. The inner connection really is the way towards the healthy, loving, new relationships, towards the daily alignment within your dreams, with your career, with your desires, with your needs. You don't want to wait no more. It's your turn. I hear you. And we can walk this walk together. I will be there. I will see the light in you when you don't, so you can see too. It never fades. It's a privilege to be in your presence. So let's get into it. Choose you, choose this life, choose your breath, and choose this life to be your teacher. Namaste, friend. I invite you to keep your eyes closed. Take a moment to, if you want, place your palms on your belly, heart, or in a namaste. And take a moment to be grateful for yourself. Be grateful for your presence in this moment, in a moment when life takes turns. And I invite you to take 3 breaths. Inhale through your nose. Slow exhale. All the way to the emptiness. Inhale again. And exhale. Oh, one more time. May all beings everywhere be happy and be free. And may my own thoughts, words, vibrations, and actions somehow contribute that happiness to all. Namaste. Said I'm a crybaby. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being here. I went to the Facebook to see if I can see if somebody is here with me. I'm so honored to be here. I'm so guided to be here. Thank you for spending this time with me and with yourself and with the manifestation alchemy. Namaste. I go and cry now. Ciao. See you inside the group. Namaste.